Today I will be talking about the concept of statistics. Statistics is the science of collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing and interpreting data so that we are able to make better decisions. So in statistics, first we collect the data, then we organize the data in the forms of tables, then we present the data in the forms of graphs, pie charts, etc. Later we analyze this data to draw some type of conclusions, and all these process we are doing in order to make some decision, in order to take some decision, and the decisions the decision will become more effective with the use of statistics. So whenever we want to take a decision, we can collect data, organize it, present it, and finally analyze the data in order to interpret and get some result out of that data. So this is the basic thing that we do in statistics. Also, the statistical analysis is used to manipulate and summarize and investigate the data. Again, the purpose of all these exercises is to make better decisions. Statistics. There are two types of statistics: descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. If we collect data and simply organize it in the form of tables, summarize them by taking their mean, mode, median, and present them in an informative way in the form of charts, diagrams, bar charts, histograms, pie chart, etc., so that it conveys some information to the user, it becomes descriptive statistics. But when we use these data to get some result also, to draw some conclusion based on the data, then it becomes inferential statistics. The most important thing in case of inferential statistics is two terms: population and sample. Population is when whatever is our entity, whatever is our object of interest for the statistical survey, we whatever the characteristic that we have sought, all the elements that satisfy that characteristics form our population. For example, if we are trying to find out the average IQ of students studying in a particular college, then all the students of that college will be our population. Suppose we want to know the use of fairness cream among girls of age group 18 to 25 in a particular locality, then all the girls in that locality between the age group 18 to 25 will be our population. Okay, so normally there are too many individuals in a population. Population has a large number of people, so we are not able to survey each and every individual in the population. Therefore, we need to take a sample, because there are certain limitations of time and money and human resources. Therefore, we cannot survey every element of the population. So we need to take a sample. Sample is a portion or a small fraction of the total population in which we are interested. So suppose there are 1 lakh people who are our population, then we may take a sample of 1000 from it. Okay, so whatever survey we will do on this 1000 people will be applicable to the whole of the population. Picture in the slide depicts that the population consists of a large number of individuals, and we have selected a section of a a fraction of people or items from this population, and that constitute the sample. So selected individuals or selected items from the population constitute the sample. Discussed previously, in inferential statistics we want to make some conclusion. We want to draw some result from the data that we have collected. So for example, we have collected data about the weights of individuals. Now we have taken a sample of, let's say, 50 people, and we have collected data about their weights. Now we have calculated the mean weight of this sample. Through the mean weight of this sample, we want to make an estimate of the mean weight of the entire population. Okay, and second thing that we may do, suppose we are making a statement like this, that the mean weight of the population is 70 kg. Now you have collected data of the sample of 50 people, and you have got the mean weight of these 50 people. Now through these mean weight of these 50 people, we want to check the hypothesis that the mean weight of the entire population is 70 kg. So in this way, through inferential statistics, we can do estimation as well as hypothesis testing. When we are trying to select people in our sample, we can use different methods. These are known as sampling methods. How to select items in the sample from the population. So these methods are known as sampling methods. There are two categories of the sampling methods: random and non-random. The word random sounds very different, but its meaning is entirely different. When we say we are selecting sample using random sampling, it means that each and every member of the population has an equal chance of being selected in the sample. हर आइटम के जो भी आपके पॉपुलेशन में है, उसका इक्वल चांस जब हो सिलेक्ट होने का सैंपल में, उसको हम रैंडम सैम्पलिंग कहते हैं. तो रैंडम सैम्पलिंग बिल्कुल भी रैंडम नहीं होती. इसको करने का एकदम प्रॉपर मेथड होता है. आप सारे जो पॉपुलेशन के एलिमेंट्स हैं उनको लिस्ट कर लीजिए, और फिर एक रैंडम नंबर जनरेट करके, और जो रैंडम नंबर जनरेट हो उस नंबर पे जो भी सैम्पलिंग एलिमेंट का नाम लिखा है उसको आप सिलेक्ट करें, तो वो रैंडम सैम्पलिंग कहलाएगा. नॉन रैंडम सैम्पलिंग में भी कई तरह के होते हैं, और जो ज़्यादातर हम अपने कन्वीनियंस के लिए यूज़ करते हैं. ओके, नाउ व्हेन वी डू द सैम्पलिंग, there can be sampling errors. Okay, first sampling error can be that you have selected a very small sample which is not representative, which is not able to represent the population properly. Okay. And suppose you have selected you have measured a particular characteristic of the population and you have recorded some wrong values. That is also a sampling error. Types of random sampling. First one is simple random sampling, where each and every member of the population is written on a piece of paper and you draw chits randomly. Okay. Second one is stratified sample. In a stratified sample you make strata. Strata means you make groups within the population, and from each group you select randomly. From each group you select people, certain number of people from each group, so that your sample become representative of each and every group within the population. Now, for example of stratified sample is like, suppose in a population there are people of different income groups, so you divide the entire population in 5 income groups: 0 to 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees to 10 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees to 1 crore rupees, and the last group is more than 1 crore rupees. So you have divided the population into 5 groups. In first group you have people having income less than 1 lakh. In second group you have people with income between 1 lakh and 5 lakh. In third group you have people with income 5 lakh to 10 lakh. Next group you have 10 lakh to 1 crore, and the last group you have more than 1 crore. So in each group you select through random sampling a fixed number of people, and all together they will constitute your random sample, stratified random sample. Okay. Next one is cluster sample. Here what you do, you divide the population among groups. ओके आपने पूरे एरिया को, जैसे ग्वालियर एरिया में आपको सैंपल निकालना था, तो आपने ग्वालियर एरिया को डिफरेंट एरियाज में डिवाइड कर दिया, जैसे बाड़ा, हजीरा, लश्कर, डीडी नगर, मुरार, थाटीपुर, इस तरह से आपने ग्वालियर को रीजन्स में डिवाइड कर दिया. फिर आपने रैंडमली 2 रीजन सिलेक्ट कर लिए. एक रीजन आपने थाटीपुर सिलेक्ट कर लिया, एक रीजन आपने लश्कर सिलेक्ट कर लिया. नाउ यू हैव गॉट 2 रीजन्स एंड यू विल सिलेक्ट फ्रॉम दीज 2 रीजन्स ओनली. So that will become your cluster sampling. Then next is systematic sampling. Here we list the elements of the population. जैसे आपको अगर सिस्टमेटिक सैंपल करना है तो आपने जो भी आपके पॉपुलेशन के में लोग आते हैं उन सबके फ़ोन नंबर इकट्ठे कर लिए, और हर 5वां फ़ोन नंबर पे जो व्यक्ति था उसको आपने अपने सैंपल में रख लिया. तो दैट विल बिकम योर सिस्टमेटिक सैंपल. Here are the steps for descriptive statistics. You collect data, then you present the data in the form of tables and graphs, and you summarize the data with the mean, sample mean, median, mode, etc. We collect can be of 2 types: primary data or secondary data. Primary data is the data that we collect ourselves for specifically for our purpose, while the secondary data is already, that is the data that is already available in various types of books or journals. Somebody else have collected the data and we are using it for our purpose. It becomes secondary data. Okay. तो statistical survey of India जो इंडिया में भारत में एक स्टैटिस्टिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया करके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो कि जिसका काम है स्टैटिस्टिक्स डेटा कलेक्ट करना और उसको रिकॉर्ड करके रखना। तो उसको अगर वो सब डेटा हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो देन इट विल बिकम सेकेंडरी डेटा। प्राइमरी डेटा वी कलेक्ट फॉर आवर ओन पर्पस। अगर हमें किसी पर्टिकुलर स्टडी करनी है, उस पर्टिकुलर स्टडी के लिए हम कोई डेटा खुद इकट्ठा करते हैं, देन इट बिकम्स प्राइमरी डेटा। ओके, नाउ another thing is variable and constant. Variables is something which can take different values, and constant is something which has a fixed value. डेटा दो तरह का हो सकता है, क्वालिटेटिव डेटा एंड क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा। क्वालिटेटिव डेटा इज वन वेयर वी कैन नॉट रिकॉर्ड द अमाउंट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, whether a person is skin color of a person is fair or dark, whether a person has a blue eye color or brown eye color or black eye color. So these are qualitative data where you cannot record the quantity. Generally they are either present or absent. Okay, quantitative data we can record the amount, we can record it in the numerical value. For example, distance traveled, or number of children per family, or weight of people in a particular population. So all these data, income group, how much per amount of money a person is earning is again can be measured. So these are all quantitative data. Thomas, where there are only two options, yes, no, male, female. Okay, so that is dichotomous, where there are only two options. It can be polynomic, where there are more than two options. For example, education level, whether you are belonging to rural, urban, semi-urban type of area. So when we have more than two options, it becomes polynomic. When we have only two options, it becomes dichotomous. Can be of can be divided into two groups basically, discrete or continuous. Discrete means when you are when there are separate numbers, and continuous means when they are when the number can take any value. For example, weight, it can be 55.5, 56, 55.6 and so on. Discrete when the number can be a whole number only. Data presentation. How do we present the data that we have collected for our statistical inquiry? Presenting data is using pivot table. In pivot table we have like we are recording the data on two dichotomous scales. For example, on one side we have people belonging to different income category. On the other side we have male and female. So we can have, it can be a pivot table. Then again we can also have contingency tables, where at least one attribute has more than two values. Okay, and we can also convert the values as in percentages forms. Now we can also present data with the frequency distribution, where we show the occurrence of each type of data how many times a particular observation has appeared. That is frequency distribution. So with the help of frequency distribution, large volume of data can be summarized into small tables. Okay, we can determine the classes of frequency distribution and then record the value of observation, how many times a particular observation has appeared. Frequency distribution. First step is to determine number of classes. For that you take under root of n, where n is number of observations, and then determine the size of each class. For that, maximum value minus minimum value upon the number of classes that you want to take. Then from the minimum value that is there in the observation, you will find out a starting point for the first class. Then add the class size to get the value of the first class, and continue with each like first observation was, minimum value of the observation was 5, so you can start the class from 0 to 10 and 10 to 20 and 20 to 30 and so on. Then you will find out number of observation in the first class, second class and third class by putting the tally marks. And then you can prepare a table with actual counts and also using percentages. Absolute frequency, where we observe how many times a particular observation has appeared and count them, so that becomes absolute frequency. Cumulative frequency distribution shows the total number of occurrences that lie above or below certain key value, less than 10, less than 20, less than 30. This type of frequency distribution if we have taken, then that will be called a cumulative frequency distribution. Charts and graphs. Pictures are always more effective in displaying large collection of data. Therefore, we can use various charts and graphs to present the data. Presenting data graphically is known as histogram. On the one axis you take the data, numerical data, and on the y axis the frequency, and you can present the data in this manner using a histogram. In the next slide we will show you one of the histograms. So here is a histogram. On x-axis we are showing the income, and on the y-axis number of people having that income group. On first income group is 20 to 30. Here we have 5. Then next income group is 30 to 40. We have around 17 people in this income group. Next income group is 40 to 50. We have around 22 individuals in this group, and so on. So here we have various income groups, and the height of the graph, various graphs are showing the frequency. Presenting the data is frequency polygon. Here we mark a point representing the number of the frequency of a particular variable, and we join all the points showing the frequency of different values of the variable, and the polygon is constructed. This is known as frequency polygon. Shown on x-axis income, and on the y-axis the frequency. For 25, the income group 25, we have 5 individuals. 35, we have around 17 individuals, and so on. So we have drawn a line to joining all these points that constitute the frequency polygon. Ogive, again it's a graph of cumulative frequency distribution. So first you need to find the cumulative frequency distribution. Once you get the cumulative frequency of each class interval, you plot it on the graph and join the points. So here what we will do, we will on x-axis we have the income group, and on y-axis the cumulative frequency, and all the points that are drawn of cumulative frequency are joined together to form the ogive. In this data is you have to find out the percentage of each group. Okay, relative sizes of the data components are important here. You divide the entire the whole data is 100%, and each category how much percent is each category, that you represent in the form of a pie chart. Chart shows the expenditure of funds, where the money is being spent by the company. For example, the wages, you are spending around 20% of your wage of your funds on wages. Then you are spending around 10% on raw material, 25% on shipping, 25% around 25% on overheads, and around somewhat less than 50% on the miscellaneous. So in this way you are representing the entire data in the form of a pie chart. Charts, different groups that we have, we record the frequency of each group in the form of a height of the bars. Okay, horizontal bar chart can be there, vertical bar charts can be there. The difference between histogram and the bar chart is that in case of histogram we have numerical data. In case of bar chart we can have we can have simple data categories, and we can how many people are falling in that category we can represent using bar charts. We have got the bar chart again, which shows the favorite color of people. So first favorite color is red, it is of 12 people. Then the green favorite color, green is of 8 people. Similarly blue is also of 8 people, and yellow is also yellow is of around 4 people. So here these are categories: favorite color red, green, blue and yellow, and the height of the chart is the frequency of that particular category. First in statistics is that first limitation is that it talks about the entire population. Okay, we are not talking about individual measurement. And statistics is more about quantitative characteristics, even though we sometimes measure qualitative data also, but more or less it's about quantitative characteristics. And the data, the results that are given by statistics are more or less an average. Exact नहीं होते, वो average होते हैं. And it is okay. Another disadvantage is that the result and conclusion that we draw through statistics are as good as the data that we have collected. If the data collected is not good, the results will not be good. If the data collected is poor, the results will be of poor quality. So it is as good as the data that has been collected.